मग आपण नाही भेटला त्या सोप्यात बघितलं तर तुला आमचा आपण भागमध्ये राहतो बोललो काय काय तिथे ना
कसं खाली देंगे ती खाने के लिए अरे मोटा सा बंदा आके 50 किलो मोटरी को उठा रहा वो सोशलाइजिंग निकल गया बहुत होगा इनके टाइम से बात मेरा ज्यादा जिम करता निकल जाता अपने में लगा आज किसी को बुलाता हूँ कि भाई स्टॉर्ट कर हाँ जितना मेरे तुम्हारे 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 जितना मेरे से मिल जाएगा
selling skills workshop that if you are a seasoned sales professional or someone who wants to start a sales career, then I'm sure you would want to know how to sell more and earn those extra incentives. Sales is a skill most widely used, however, not taught in any school or college. We at Juno School of Business bring you a complete and concise selling skills workshop that will help you sell better each time, every time you meet your customers. Learn the tricks right from opening a call to building great relationships, pitching value propositions to handling those tricky customer objections. Learn it all here using the most simple and scientific selling tools and techniques. Be a part of this workshop and learn under the guidance of industry experts. Come, join us today.
Hello everyone, we'll start in a few minutes. Thank you for your patience. Juno School of Business. Thank you so much for taking out time on a weekend. Oh, great. Mr. Veer is also here. 1 second, sir. I'll unmute you. Can you please unmute yourself?
Hi.
Hi, sir. We'll start in a minute, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. I'm waiting.
Sure. Okay, great. Thank you everyone for joining. Today's masterclass is on SaaS Sales Playbook. And with me today, we have Mr. VeerChand Bothra, who is the managing partner at 0101. And previous to this, he has been working with a lot of organizations, but one thing that has been grabbing eyeballs is the Chief Strategy Officer at Netco Solutions, being part of the CXO group at Curiosity Gym. Definitely would not bore you with the introduction. We'll let Mr. V take on the stage. So, sir, thank you so much for taking out time and accepting our invitation for the masterclass. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. My pleasure. Good to see 29 people here on this Saturday afternoon. This topic is something that I really, I'm passionate about. So I'm glad to be here and talking about this topic. We'll keep this interactive. So we have an hour in total. So I'll be going through this, so I have a presentation and we'll be talking about some of these methodologies here. I will be going through the deck, but also I'll like to keep this interactive. So we don't keep the questions only towards the end. But if there are any clarification questions, any points, feel free to interrupt me. So I'll just share my screen and then we can begin. If you can give me the permission to share my screen.
1 second, sir. Can you please try once? Are you able to do it?
No, it says host disabled.
Okay, 1 second. Can you try once, sir?
Okay. Yes, thank you so much.
Sure.
So I believe the screen is visible. So
yes.
Yeah, thank you very much once again. It's good to be here. I would like to start with an introduction. And just a very quick introduction. I am a managing partner at 0101 today. It is a MarTech agency. We provide MarTech solutions to enterprises and brands where we create right from consulting to managed service around marketing technology. That is what we do at 0101 today. Previously, I've been actually a product guy, building products, especially in 0 to 1 categories. So that means new categories, which are in the market. That has been my specialization. The last product that I built was a B2C product at Curiosity Gym, which was like a LinkedIn for students. Prior to that, I was an entrepreneur at Netcore building Scoop.ai, which is a conversation analytics product. Which is what gave me a deep insight, because the conversation analytics product worked primarily around inside sales conversations. So it gave me a good deep insight about SaaS sales, inside sales, and that is the kind of topic method that we are going to talk about today. So prior to that, I was head of product at Netcore, where I build a marketing automation product. So yes, 0 to 1 product person. learning the SaaS sales in the last 5 years. What exactly is SaaS sales? Having built a product for inside sales team. So that is where my insights around and understanding around SaaS sales and inside sales comes from. I would like to just start with a kind of a quick understanding from the group, because I'm not going to elaborate on what is SaaS, because I think today people understand what is SaaS, which is software as a service being offered to users across the globe through primarily through a browser based or mobile app based interface. But I think we are all aware there are many products, like whether it is Salesforce.com, which was a pioneer in software as a service, to many other products today. They are SaaS products. So I'm not going to talk about SaaS, but if a quick show of hands, how many people in the room has anybody any understanding of what is SaaS sales? What is a SaaS business? Not software as a service. We know what is software as a service, but what is a SaaS business and how does it differ from a traditional business, let's say? And anybody wants to take a quick shot at it in case people are aware about this?
Sure. So people can unmute, raise their hand. Okay, great. We have a raise of hand. Naveen, please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. So basically, SaaS is software as service. The service here is provided on the basis of monthly subscriptions, right? So the main difference is here the subscription-based model, which makes the SaaS difference. And second is thing is the whole module or the whole fundamental is basically on the web. You don't have to install anything. You are good to go. Just plug and play type of stuff, right?
Fantastic, Naveen. So that is correct. Absolutely. And right, Vicky and Rajendra also, who have typed on chat. So SaaS is essentially a web-based, nothing to install kind of a software. That is a SaaS product. And as a business, it is primarily subscription driven. Most of the SaaS products, are basically they charge you either they are free or freemium. And if they are freemium or paid, then they charge you a subscription fee for using their service. Okay, so that's pay-per-use and subscription-based products. So that's great. I think good to get the definition out of the way. So what is SaaS sales? Okay, so you have to contrast it with traditional sales, right? So typically, if you look at it, customers buy. I'm talking about B2B customers, right? They traditionally buy through a sales team, right? A sales team would kind of reach out to them. They would visit the customer physically. Then they would do demos. There would be multiple rounds of meetings, and there would be proposals and quotations shared, and there would be negotiations, and then you would close a deal, right? That is what, let's say, a typical vendor or a product company would do as to sell their product. So they would hire field sales teams. They would be in touch with the customer, and they would do prospecting and then meetings and then closures, right? That has been the traditional sales playbook, and it continues. There are many products which require field sales teams to kind of do this, and that is how the traditional sales playbook is. But what is SaaS sales? SaaS sales, you should also read a concept which is what is called as product-led sales. Okay, so they are intertwined. These the concept. So traditionally, SaaS sales versus sorry, are you still able to see the screen, or are you? Is the presentation visible?
Yes, yes.
The presentation is visible, right?
Yes, presentation is visible.
Okay. So just a second. I think it's because it says screen sharing is paused. So I'm just wondering, 1 second. Yeah. So, what I was saying was that the traditional sales relies on a sales team driven interactions, where the sales team would be, generally going out and, physically meeting customers. But a SaaS product, led sales, they also, the one of the key differentiating factors is they rely on, a very product-led sales model. That means there's a product which is online. You would have a very engaging website which is there. And so there is a lot of there's a free trial of that website product, web-based product. So if you think about it, a product-led sales versus a traditional sales differences that a SaaS a company would rely on the product to sell itself more. Okay, so there is a very important component where what the product plays. It is not just marketing or sales, but the product team also comes into the equation. So traditionally it is marketing teams which generates the leads and sales teams which closes the lead, right, through the field sales method primarily. But in a SaaS scenario, there is a third entity which comes into the mix, which is the product team, because many a times the product is the first, it's mostly a free trial product. It's a try and buy method. You would basically let the buyer decide, because one of the things we need to realize is that in large enterprises there used to be a difference between a buyer and a user. That means the buyer would be different, and the people who would buy would be actually interacting with the traditional sales team, and they would make the decisions, and the users would be different. But today, what has happened in the last 5 to 10 years is, like we all do in our personal lives, where we actually go and research online and then buy offline many times, or research online and buy online, right? So that buyer behavior has changed, and so has B2B buyer behavior changed. So people go, they research online about the products. There are many review websites like g2.com. That's one of the most famous ones, where you would go and research about a business product. Okay, what is Salesforce? What are the reviews of actual users of Salesforce? So you would actually go and research. Even if you're a B2B buyer, you would go and research online. Okay, that's the first step that a B2B buyer does. And when they research online, they come across these product websites. So because it's a SaaS product, so the website is there. It is fully content heavy. It would explain to you about their product in a very detailed manner. So the buyer actually also becomes very familiar with the product online through the product website. Okay, once the product, the buyer has generated interest, then they would also go and actually do a free trial many a times. You would have tried Canva, for example, right? You would read about Canva, you would research about Canva, but then Canva allows you to use the product for free. There are certain products which are time bound. So it's a freemium model. And such certain products which are not time bound and freemium, but only advanced features you have to pay for. So there are the products, for example, in an SEO industry, there are products like Ahref, which would say that the entire product is free, but for 7 days, and then you have to buy. But what it does for the buyer, it allows you to do a try and buy, right? So that's again a major difference between traditional sales and a SaaS sale. So as I said, the first thing is in the metric in the mix. In traditional, there is only marketing and sales. In a SaaS sales or in a model, it is a mix of product, marketing, and sales. And why, I've already explained to you, because that is the buyer journey, where the buyer likes to research online, do a try and buy, and then actually make the real purchase decision. So that in this scenario that is developing for B2B products, it could be, by the way, 10,000 rupees product per month. It could be $1 million product, but in $1 million products are today being purchased in this methodology. So that is the difference between a traditional sales and a SaaS sale method. Are there any questions at this stage before we go to the next slide?
People can raise their hand and I can remove them if they have questions.
Yeah, the difference between traditional sales and SaaS sales.
I think so. We are good to go.
Okay, great. So now let's go to another important concept. When we talk about SaaS sales. Okay, Rohan has a question.
Yes. Rohan, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, hi, Veer.
Hi.
On the side. So as you have mentioned, traditional sales, so only perpetual licensing model come into picture in the traditional model, or any other different mode of sales also come into picture?
That's a good question. See, the pricing doesn't matter, right? Because you could say that there is a SaaS product which doesn't do subscription pricing. nobody can stop anybody on the pricing, right? We can say that, okay, mostly people follow subscription pricing. But there used to be a product I used to use on my iPad called as Notepad, or I'm forgetting the name. That product, if for some reason they only charged me once, and I've been using, that I used to use that product for many years. But the pricing doesn't really define, although it is a very important, it's a characteristic of SaaS that almost all SaaS products are subscription based. What defines is how do you basically sell, what is the marketing and sales methodology. So what we have seen, and you would see as we proceed, what is a SaaS business? Part of which that SaaS business is inside sales and inbound marketing and these different functions and different methodologies that are there. So what are the characteristics of a SaaS business? Yes, subscription pricing is one of them. How the product or is served to you is another. How do you sell and market is another. Okay, so what I would say is, in traditional business and traditional marketing and sales, the method was that there's a marketing team which, through its own events and other methods, would generate and do advertising, etc., generate demand. Then then those leads would be passed on to sales team. Sales team, there would be a typical structure. They would kind of reach out to them, and then they would do physical meetings. So what I'm trying to say is that the pricing does not necessarily define. It is the entire sales and marketing process which defines the traditional sales versus SaaS sales or product-led sales.
Got it. Thanks.
Right. So now let's look at something very specific within SaaS sales, which is inside sales, right? So sales is the ability to convert a demand into business, right? That means there's a demand for your product, or there is an interest in your product. That is marketing's job. Once that demand is captured, the sales team converts that demand into revenue. That means they close that customer, that prospect, and that prospect is turned into a customer. That is the sales job. Now the sales could be field sales, or it could be remote sales. That means I'm basically saying that even in a SaaS product, what prevents me to go and sell that SaaS product to a customer doing field sales? Nothing. And by the way, there are many SaaS products which are sold by also going to the sales field by visiting customers. Many, because they are like very high ticket sales, and there's a complexity of sales involved. So there is no hard and fast rule, and that is what I was answering earlier, that the pricing doesn't necessarily define this. So similarly, it is not that all SaaS sales are remote. No, in fact, there are many companies which have realized that to close very large accounts, okay, it's a very large Fortune 500 company, a large enterprise. So they actually have field sales teams to sell their SaaS products. So if you talk about even for the large companies, I will cover some of them like Freshworks and Zoho and others. They realize that yes, they can do SMB to mid-market, completely, remotely. But when you talk about large enterprises, they have to also do field sales to sell their products. Okay, so that has been a realization for many of these SaaS companies. So what I'm trying to say is that a SaaS sales playbook doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have field sales. No, it could be there for certain segment of customers, but largely SaaS sales playbook that I'm going to talk about today is product-led, inside sales, and inbound marketing. Okay, that means you have to have a great product. By the way, it has to be a DIY product. So that's a given. You cannot not have a DIY product. Okay, as I said, why? Because the buyer journey is such. They want to kind of look at your product. They want to use the product by themselves. So the first requisite for a SaaS business is a DIY product, right? Web-based product is a technical part of it, but it should be a DIY product. That's the UI, UX, and the way the product is designed and built. So DIY product. The second, important prevalent characteristic is that there is inbound marketing. So we'll talk about that slightly later. I want to talk about inside sales first, okay? Because our session is around sales. So most of the companies cater to the SMB segment and the mid-market segment of customers through inside sales. I'm talking about largely the SaaS companies. Okay. And when I say SaaS companies, I'm sure many of you have heard of Zoho and Freshworks and ChargeBees. Okay, they are the iconic companies, and for some reason they started out of Chennai. Most of them are based out of Chennai, but there are many companies out of Mumbai and Bengaluru and other places as well, Pune. But the big success story, so Chennai has become like the SaaS capital of India because of Zoho. So primarily Zoho started this, 10 plus years back. Out of that, and then it became an ecosystem, and Chennai became a center of SaaS, and all these companies sitting out of Chennai, okay, they sold to the world. Okay, sitting out of Chennai. Okay, and then when they started catering to, when they captured the SMB and mid market fairly well, then they started going to large enterprises. Then they created field sales teams in US and Europe and other markets. Okay, but till the time they were catering to SMB business and a part of a mid-market business, they sold out of Chennai. Okay, so the SaaS sales playbook that I'm going to talk about today is primarily a learning from them. They were kind enough to share their insights and knowledge with others, and they created this SaaS sales playbook through which other people learned that, okay, how sitting out of India, you can build a product. That product is then kind of used by everybody else in the world. Okay, not only used, but it is also sold. So build in India, sell from India, and serve from India. Okay, so the customer success teams, etc. So everything is in India, right? So the SMB market lends itself very well to this. Part of the mid market also lends itself very well to this. Only in the large enterprise segment do you really need to have a physical presence, etc. Otherwise, this is a model perfected out of India, and thanks to the Zoho gang and the Chennai the Chennai companies. Yeah, so that is the background of this. I'm now going to talk about inside sales, because as part of the SaaS sales playbook, inside sales is a very important function apart from inbound marketing. Okay, so inbound marketing I'll cover in the subsequent slides. Let's discuss what is inside sales, right? So I think it's fairly clear. It doesn't need much elaboration that sitting from your office, instead of going physically, you do these sales tasks, right? So researching about your prospect, building a prospect database, connecting with your prospects. Okay, all this is done sitting from the office, okay, without physically going and meeting the customers. Okay, so this entire process, right, from researching to prospecting to connecting to meetings, everything is done remotely. Okay, so it's also called as remote sales, not just inside sales, remote sales. Now what it do? Obviously, the kind of cost in terms of sales costs are reduced, because you don't have travel costs, you don't have you can do multiple meetings in a day as a result, because you're doing online. You can do, so there's a lot of the cost of inside sales is much lower, and that is why it is very useful for startups and other companies and even large companies to do inside sales. But you have to have a process of inside sales, which we are going to discuss later in the next slides. Okay, so the inside sales is this. There's the definition of inside sales. Now let's look at this sales method, right? As I said, you have to have a method. So there's this playbook, this methodology that we are going to talk about. So how do you structure inside sales? What is inside sales? Okay, just people calling people up. So isn't that tele sales? Haven't B2C customers been doing a lot of tele sales, right? So how is this SaaS inside sales different from telecallers that are there? So we'll see that, and because what we are going to discuss today is primarily the SaaS sales method, and which is applicable only, largely to B2B, right? So we're not talking about telecallers doing B2C, etc. That's a very different process. So what is this B2B SaaS sales method? Okay, so now look at this typical, map that I've borrowed from the internet. This is I like this particularly. So this is the life cycle. Okay, so right from there are two things that you need to see. On top, you'd see that what happens, right? Customer become aware about your product. Then you have to educate them about your product. Then they go to the selection stage, and then once they become a customer, then there are the rest of the stages. They are onboarded as a customer. Okay, that means you actually welcome them into your organization, and then you help them kind of get started with your product. Then they actually start using your product, and you deliver impact to them, and then you grow right through that customer. Either the customer gives you more business, or they refer other customers because they're happy with you. Okay, so that's really the what happens with the customer. And the bottom you see like prospect, MQL, SQL. These are your internal definitions, right? You start with a prospect. That means you have a prospect database. The prospect then becomes a marketing qualified lead. So what's a lead? The way I define very clearly, otherwise these are very confusing terms many times. Prospect is somebody whom you think could be interested in your product. Okay, they're just checking out. Sometimes you don't know, right? Whether they are really interested or not interested. But once they express explicit interest, that means, you know what, I am interested in your product or service, then they become a lead. Okay, so that's the difference between a prospect and a lead. A lead is someone who has said, who has expressed explicit interest. That means, hey, I am interested. That means if I'm downloading your ebook from a website, I've not told you that I'm interested in your product explicitly, right? It's implicit that I'm interested in your product. But I would treat that as a prospect because they have not given you explicit interest. Hey, I'm interested in your product. Please get in touch with me. Okay, so when somebody does that, that becomes a MQL. And what is SQL? So till the time marketing treats it as a lead, it is MQL. They qualify it and they say, yeah, this person has expressed interest in our product or service. So they're MQL. Once the MQL is given to the sales team, and then they do their own round of qualification. You would have heard from other speakers, right? Band, etc. There are frameworks that sales team uses to qualify that, out of those 10 leads that I got from marketing team, only 8 are really sales as per sales team. They are qualified, others 2 are not. So that is SQL. Then people commit, right? They say, I'm going to buy your product. They purchase the product. They pay for it. Then they go live with your product. And then there is MRR and LTV, which I'll cover later. You know, what exactly are these? But if you see the process, okay, this is what a typical process looks like online. The buying journey looks like. They come to the website, they read the content on the website, the prospects. Then you educate them. That means what you actually give them content around, which is let's say, more about details about the product that are there, etc. And then it goes into selection stage. That means you are demoing to them. They are comparing you with other competitors. Then they are negotiating the pricing, etc. Right? So that's the entire marketing and sales process. Once that is done, then the onboarding process starts. In SaaS businesses, this onboarding is a very, very important stage. Okay, why? Because it's a web-based product. Customers are supposed to use it DIY. So if you don't onboard them properly, okay, that means you don't train them, you don't handle them. It could be done automatically through software. It could be done by a customer success team. Okay, but you do a proper onboarding so that then they become power users. Because if they don't use the product, then they will not renew. And as you rightly said, SaaS is more about subscriptions and renewal, right? Because that is where you get continual revenue, and that's a salient point. So if you don't onboard, the usage will not happen, which is the next step. And if the usage doesn't happen, then the renewal doesn't happen, and therefore there are no subscription fees, right? So that is what happens if you use Netflix and if you don't watch movies. You after purchase for 3 months, the 4th month you won't renew because you'll say, hey, there's no usage, why should I renew? So that is why the renewal and the subscription revenues are dependent on proper onboarding. Okay, either automated onboarding or customer success team driven onboarding. And then there is usage and adoption and then expansion. So this is the life cycle typically SaaS companies follow. Any questions on this before we go to the next stage?
So basically, actually, I just have one question now. Since you mentioned about the SaaS industry and it's being a subscription model, there have been even a trend wherein you can say, just an example, like chatbot sections out over here. In chatbot sections, you have like the market is quite, you can say, competitive. We have a lot of competitors with chatbot. And what if I'm talking about the company standpoint, what if you can say company is selling a chatbot service for a premium, wherein the customer success is not that developed, so the user experience is not that good enough. In these cases, how exactly we can, you can say, help to enhance the user experience of onboarded customers so that it will be a benefiting factor for sales and for the organizations?
Okay, so if I get it rightly, see, customer success comes in when the customer has bought your product, they've become a customer, and if your business model, if your margins support a customer success team, then you would have a team, right? That means you would have somebody kind of mailing the customer, maybe doing a call with the customer, online meeting with the customer, explaining how to onboard. That's still a manual intervention where they can customize based on the customer's need. But if your margins don't support that, then you would have an automated process. That means it's still an onboarding process, but it is automated. There are product walkthroughs, there are automated, you could have case studies being sent, you could have use cases being sent. So it's a entire custom onboarding process is automated by giving the right content, etc., showing them the right videos, that product walkthroughs once they sign in for the to the product for the first time. So either it is automated or it is manual through customer success team. Chatbot or any of those interactions are an interface. So if you have an automated process, the chatbot will be an automated chatbot. If you have a customer success team, then it will be a live chat. Okay, there are live chat tools which all that chat interface does is it gives you asynchronous time with the customer. That means if it is a live chat and a customer success team, it gives you asynchronous time. That's all. There's no other kind of thing that we need to discuss at this point in time. Live chat is nothing. Chatbot is for automated customer onboarding or automated customer support. Live chat is for manual customer support or customer success. Okay, that's the only thing. Only thing live chat interface allows you to do is asynchronous, therefore ability to handle many parallel conversations for the same number of team members. All right, so let us go to the next slides. I'll answer the questions in the chat maybe towards the end, like average conversion rate, etc. Those are slightly different topics. And the tools question that Rizwana has asked, I have that in the slide. Okay, so now that we have seen the flow, let us now discuss the SaaS. I've given you introduction on SaaS method and SaaS this thing. Now let's go to the inbound marketing, and then we'll go into depth. So I would have covered two important things: inside sales and SaaS sales. What introduction to that? Now introduction to inbound marketing. Okay, this is the combo, as I said, that this is the real combo that is part of the SaaS Sales Playbook: inside sales teams and inbound marketing. Okay, the third piece I told you was product team, but I don't think that's in our topic of discussion today. So what is inbound marketing, right? Again, I'll not bore much because I'm using all these industry terms. You can go and note this down. If you want more details, go search on the net. You'll find all these terms being used. Inbound marketing is primarily, earning attention, right? This is very, very important. That means organically through your content. Okay, primarily through content. Okay, so that is the basic part. Again, see, look at this. Otherwise, traditional marketing involves doing paid advertising, reaching out to customers through paid media, etc. Inbound marketing is primarily about content. Why? Again, it goes back to the same point. Customers today do research online. They do buyers, users and buyers are nearly the same, and as far as SaaS is concerned, the final signing authority may be different, but people who are researching online are the actually eventual users. So they are the people who are searching and researching, about what the problem statement is, and then they would find articles, blogs, videos around their problem. Okay, so what is the difference between content marketing and marketing content? Marketing content tells who I am. This is what I am. This is my product. This is my service. This is how I'm good. Okay. Content marketing is about the customer. That means, hey, if you have this problem, then this is the solution. Okay. It is about helping the customer through your content. You're not selling, okay, in that content. You are actually educating. You're telling the customer that, if you have a problem in so and so category of business, then this is what you should do. So you actually give them free, advice, free content, which helps them. Okay, that's the most important part. As part of that content, you also then obviously you can talk about how your product helps in that, etc. So the primary thing about content marketing is through all this, what you see on the screen on the right side, there are various ways to publish your content, etc. But what is common thing in that is that it basically is helping the user with the content. It's not a sales content. Okay, and this generates because people are searching online, people are researching, they would discover your content. Because they discover your content, they form a positive view about your brand, and because you help them understand something, solve a problem, right? And then you gain top of mind recall, your brand becomes familiar, you generate trust, okay, with your customers, that because of all the help that you have given them. And that is why then they become favorable to your brand, and then they say, hey, acha, I was searching for a good CRM for diamond industry. Now you have a list which says, what is the best way to kind of evaluate a CRM for diamond industry. Okay, and then they would discover your website on which the content is there. They would check out your website. They see that, oh, you also have a product in that category. Then there will be a book a demo for your product, or try your product by signing up for a month for free, something of that sort, right? So that is the flow: inbound marketing, content marketing. Through that you generate leads, and those leads are then passed to the sales process, which we'll cover later, right? So inbound marketing is again very important, right? We talked about inside sales reducing the cost. Similarly, inbound marketing reduces the cost, right? Because otherwise, when you do paid, etc., there are a lot of costs involved. The cost of customer acquisition becomes very high. But when you're talking about inbound marketing, the cost per lead is comparatively very low, as opposed to paid marketing. So again, SaaS sales, because all these companies that I talked about, they were startups and they were challengers, so they didn't have a lot of money to burn. So they adopted these inbound marketing techniques to generate demand, to generate leads at a lower CAC. And then they used inside sales with, again, a lower cost of sale, right? Because it's an inside sales team to convert those leads into customers. So again, the cost effectiveness of these methods of inbound marketing and inside sales also should be noted. Okay, if there are no questions on inbound marketing, we can move to the next slide. One of the most important thing, that is advised when we talk about inbound marketing and inside sales processes, is to start with defining your ideal customer profile. Okay, it is called as ICP. Okay, and again, the SaaS companies kind of tend to do this. Okay, there is this ICP. Now, ICP again is a common term. You should search for it. What you can see on screen, right? You start by creating a sample ICP, profile that you can see something similar. You create different personas. If that is what suits your business, you would have different personas in your business. But this is a very, very important exercise. Okay, when you do inbound marketing and when you do inside sales, please start by creating an ICP. Okay, this will lend a lot of clarity in your marketing process and in your sales process, because your content will be created around these. Your sales, when they have sales conversations, they will basically do this around the ICP or the personas, right? Because they know if this is the kind of persona, then this should be my talking track. If for other personas, my script should be different, right? So your sales and marketing process need to start by creating an ICP and personas. Another important concept, and I think this is my last slide on marketing, is account-based marketing. This is useful when your company has a product or a service which is targeted toward large customers. Okay, that means named, defined customers. So this is again a very important part of SaaS marketing. So you could say, no, my product is not for SMBs. It is not for small to mid-sized companies, but it is mid to large size companies. And I have a universe of 200 companies that would buy my product. Then you would need something like account-based marketing. Why? Because you, on the right side, you see, right? You identify target companies. That means not everybody is your customer. Anybody who generates leads is not my customer. But you have this 200, 500 list of customers that would be your target customers. Then, because it's a limited set, your inside sales team would start engaging them. That means they would add them on LinkedIn, then they would follow, they will build a relationship with those customers because they know a lot about those customers because it's a defined set of customers. And this is useful for account-based marketing, okay? And for large customers, because then now it fills, right? Content marketing, etc., for inbound marketing for SMB to mid, and account-based marketing from mid to large, right? So this helps you cover this entire spectrum of marketing when we talk about SaaS companies. Now let's go to the process. So what is this process? Okay, the sales process that we are talking about, which starts with marketing. So first is this who stage, right? That who is defined by ICP and personas. Okay, you start with that, and who does that basically internally to your organization to attract those your prospects is your marketing team. What does a marketing team do? They do SEO, webinars, PR, this, that. And what is the KPI they are measured on, this marketing team? It is a MQL, right? Marketing qualified leads that they generate. Is that clear? That means the first step is to attract your prospects. Okay. How do you attract? By doing a webinar. This is all, if you look at it, this is largely, most of them are on the inbound marketing side. When you do a webinar, people would come and join your webinar because you're talking about content which is useful to them. SEO is anyway useful content. PR is maybe not useful content, but social content that you would post, organic leads that you would generate. Only paid is where the paid part comes in. But this is the stage where you attract your prospects. And the KPI to really bother there is the MQL. Then you would convert, right? Who would convert? Your sales team would convert and close. So convert to what? Convert to leads, right? So that is the second stage. Convert your prospect to leads is the marketing job. Convert your MQL to SQL is your sales team job. Okay. Now there is this concept that is getting introduced here, BDR. Okay, business development representative. I'll talk about that. Okay, that is also there in this subsequent slide, which is the team structure. This is very important, by the way. When we talk about SaaS sales method, the real meat of the discussion is between these two slides. If you understand this, you would understand the difference between traditional sales and the SaaS sales methodology. So first stage is marketing. We have discussed that. What does marketing do? But once marketing gives you prospects that these 100 people have expressed explicit interest in a product, that's a lead. Now there are two things here: BDR or SDR. Okay, some people call it sales development representatives. Some people call it business development representatives. So the lead first goes to a BDR or an SDR. Okay, so this is this slide helps you understand a little better. So inbound leads from marketing. Okay, that's the starting stage. This leads goes to the sales development rep or SDR or BDR. Those SDRs and BDR, what do they do? They qualify the lead. That means somebody filled a form. They came to your website, they downloaded a PDF, an ebook, and they filled a form. Now that's a lead. And the sales, the marketing team would give that lead to the SDR. The SDR would call them up, email them, call them, have that initial conversation. Okay, saying, sir, okay, you know what kind of organization is yours? What is your interest? Okay, so the little bit of band qualification would happen there. The salesperson might realize that, hey, you know what, we are interested in mid-market, but this is an absolute startup. So this is not really qualifying. So then they will not qualify it. But if they qualify, that means this person seems to be interested. They really have an immediate need. The lead could say, no, I downloaded your thing, but you know what, I'm not really looking to buy right now. I'm just researching. So then the SDR would put that in a different marketing funnel, saying that let's nurture that lead over a period. But I would drop that lead right now. That means it would not go beyond the SDR stage. So a lead comes from marketing, goes to SDR. SDR does the initial conversation and qualification. And if the SDR qualifies that lead, that yes, this is a sales lead that that could convert, they give it to what they call as account executives. Okay, so there are two terms that are getting introduced: SDR and AE. Okay, AE is the account executive. That means marketing team gives the lead to SDR. SDR does the initial qualification and conversation, and then gives it to the AE person. Okay, the account executive, what does that person do? That person gives a demo, they have a deeper conversation, they do quoting and pricing, this, that, and they close. Okay, so the closure job is of account executive. And once the closure happens, it goes to the customer success team, right? So this is what you have to understand. The first step is marketing team, second step is SDR, third step is AE, and fourth step is customer success team. This is what you see here also. Okay, convert. So a marketing team, that is attract, convert, which is the SDR or BDR, close, which is the account executive's job, and activate, which is the customer success team's job. Correct? This is the SaaS sales methodology. Okay, now we are going to spend a little time on these 2 slides because this is something that needs to be understood. I would love to take questions around this.
Sure. So we have a few questions in the chat. Shall I take it?
Yes, I can see those, and those are related to marketing. Are there any related to the sales process? We'll come to marketing as well.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's more focused on the marketing side. People, if you would like to ask any question right now, please raise your hand and we can unmute you.
Yeah, this is the core of it. That what is SaaS sales methodology? It is this: SDR to BDR, SDR to account executive to customer success. Yes, Rizwana.
Rizwan,
Just a second, sir. Just a second.
Yes, go ahead.
Sir. So how to convert a very challenging? How to do if the conversion is very challenging? How to close it?
See, you have to understand that the first level of SDR is not where the conversion happens. SDR, only thing they do is they actually help qualify it from a sales point of view. The conversion happens at the account executive level in a SaaS sales playbook method. The account executive's job, actually, the core strength of an account executive is to close. Okay, that means how they know all the sales. They are hardcore sales people, by the way. SDR are also hardcore sales people, but even the account executives are supposed to be sales, very good at sales. Why? Because they like to have a conversation with people. They develop the relationship with those people, even though remotely. They understand the problem statement. They kind of help do the demo and the selling, the salient points of their product or service. So it's almost like solution selling. Okay, where you actually don't just say, this is my product, this is the pricing, please buy. No, the account executive's job is to convince the customer that for their problems, the company's product is the best solution for their problems. And when you talk about challenging sales, etc., right? See, sales, there are 2 parts to sales. Okay, gaining trust and providing a solution. Okay, then all the commercial discussions are easy. If you gain trust of the customer, that means what that the salesperson is really acting in the interest of the buyer. So the salesperson should be kind of ready to be able to tell that this doesn't suit you, you should try this out. So it is almost that the salesperson first has to gain the trust of the customer, because if there's no trust, I won't buy from you. However great your product is, however good you are, if I don't trust you, okay, so the first job of a salesperson is to gain trust, because all other conversations are dependent on that. If you gain trust, how do you gain trust? By where the customer knows that you are acting in their best interest. Okay, you're not just trying to kind of fool them and convert them through any means, overcharge them. No. So first is gaining trust. Second is providing a solution to the problem. So you have to understand the problem. Don't just understand your product. If you just understand your product, that's only half the deal. If you understand my problem, if you suggest to me that your 2 other customers have had similar problems, and then they use this product in this way. So give me something which you can borrow from other customers, learnings, testimonials where I know, case studies. Through these methods, you gain trust and you give a solution. So when you gain trust, the other is you give a solution, and then you offer competitive pricing, right? It might be slightly higher than competition, but it's still competitive. But because you have gained my trust, because you have given me a solution and you have given me competitive pricing, then this is what really a account executive's job is in this method, right? This is what a good salesperson does. Okay, thanks, Rizwana. So what else? Any other question on this SDR plus AE plus customer success?
Rajiv would like to ask you a question, sir. Rajiv, can you please unmute yourself and start the video if you want to? Rajiv, you can ask your question.
Rajiv and Akhil. I think Rajiv, are you on mute because we can't hear you?
I have unmuted you, Rajiv. Maybe you can check your speaker.
Am I audible?
Yes, Rajiv. Please go ahead.
Actually, I am working in inside sales for a startup company, and we, as opposed to selling a SaaS, we offer services in the AI industry. So recently, I would like to discuss about a use case wherein a person approached us through our website through inbound channels, and then suddenly ghosted when I started to build the trust. I mean, I wanted to ask, where have I gone wrong, or is there something else I needed to do? I don't know. I mean, that person had actually directly asked for the quotation, and I had tried to build a rapport before actually giving out the quotation. So was I wrong in doing it, or should I have just given out the quotation right in the beginning, because the prospect or the lead has actually ghosted me after that? So
No,
I
Rajiv.
want
So Rajiv, absolutely correct. So see, this always happens in sales. There are certain people who are only interested in price because they have done all the other research. They have only come to your website. They will ask for your price. But you, as a salesperson, you need to understand the background. You need to know a little bit more about the customer before giving a price, because the price might be too less or too high because you've not understood what exactly the customer wants. So it is absolutely fine to kind of ask them a little detail which will help you decide the pricing. Okay. People ghost. That is absolutely common. There's nothing new in this. What you need to do is you need to have a proper SaaS sales playbook. That means if a person ghosts, even if they don't ghost, they tell you, sorry, I'm not interested right now, I'm interested later. There would be many dispositions, as they are called. Okay. You need to put those people into the right buckets so that marketing can happen to them. That means your sales has given up on them right now because that either the person is ghosted or said no or said later. But marketing team can continue to nurture them, right? Until unless they sign out of your marketing communication, they unsubscribe. So all I would suggest is there's nothing wrong. You did not do anything wrong. You need a little background before giving pricing. That is absolutely fine. My suggestion here is to talk to your marketing team and create buckets and journeys so that these people who drop in some or the other manner, they are put into the right marketing journeys right marketing automated journeys.
Okay. Right. And just I'd like to ask an additional question. Since most of the leads that I generate are from LinkedIn, so I've seen most of the time, the conversation starters after a person has actually after I have actually connected with someone. Okay. I mean, I struggle a lot with that. Could you give me some insights on that? I mean, so that I can actually start off a conversation. I mean, the icebreaker, I mean, the line after.
Rajiv, one thing you need to understand, and I just tell this to all salespeople on LinkedIn or other social media. Yeah. People are on social media to connect with other people. Okay. That means the job of social media is to connect people. So now what you need to do is the sales cycles are longer, but you need to establish a relationship. Comment on their posts, like their post, ask questions genuinely, not in a manner where you fake it. Okay, genuinely engage with them.
Okay.
Build a relationship like that. Don't try to say that what they said hi, and then you next immediately you pitch to them, and then they would not reply, right? Because they're not there to be sold to, right? Everybody is coming to everyone to just sell. My point is, try to build a relationship. Okay. And give it some time. Once you have a relationship, some sort of a relationship in place, where you try to gain some trust, then you can sell. Otherwise, most of them will not respond because they just feel, यार ये तो मेरे से connect ही इसके लिए किया just because you wanted to sell.
हाँ जी. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, Rizwana, you had a question that is that the question that you are trying to ask, that why salespeople can't close and why are they called account executives? They are salespeople, by the way. SDR is a salesperson. What you see on the screen, BDR, that SDR, BDR is a salesperson. Account executive is a salesperson. It is just that in the SaaS sales methodology, they are called as SDRs and AEs because there is a certain way SDRs are trained. You can research on internet because we don't have that much time. But SDR training, SDR is the role of an SDR, the KRAs, KPIs of SDRs, the training of SDRs is different. Account executive role, training, KPIs are different. Okay, both are salespeople. It is just that in the sales playbook, SaaS playbook, they are called as account executives. That's all, nothing else. Yes, Akhil.
Hi, Vito. Thanks a lot for this compact and concise walkthrough through the playbook. So I recently made a switch from traditional sales to SaaS sales, and hence I found it very, very insightful. Now, so in traditional sales, we actually had this concept of market storming, where you find out where your prospects are located. So, for example, let us say there's a product which sells well to let us say cloth mills, and hence you find out where are all the cloth mills located in your area, and then you market storm them, and then find some leads, and then start conversation with them, make a pipeline, and then start closing them, right? Would this kind of sales method hold true or hold well in SaaS as well? Do you think that something like this can be built for SaaS? And then my follow-up question apart from this is, like, so once we have a set of customers in a geography, in most enterprise sales, there is a playbook for references. Do you think that there is a good playbook for reference? For most enterprise sales, wherein there's a big ticket sales which you were talking about earlier when you said that Zohos of the world and Freshwords of the world have realized that for bigger ticket and more number of licenses, there's a field team. So this field team generally comes from enterprise sales background, and they rely heavily on references. Is there a playbook or some kind of framework which can be used for SaaS as well? I mean, from references point of view. So these are two questions I had.
Yes, so I'll answer one by one. So first question is about market storming. It applies to SaaS also. But please remember, I told two methods in the beginning. One is field sales and the other is inside sales. So if you are, for example, selling to large customers, there are two things. Again, I've covered that one method is account-based marketing. So you actually have named accounts, and instead of relying only on references are there, and you would still do SaaS sales through references, absolutely fine. This is just a way of generating leads. But another way, which is more prevalent, if you don't have references, you can't rely on references alone. So you do something proactive, which is called as account-based marketing, which means you have 100 named accounts. You figure out those companies, employees, which are the right employees for you, whichever department you are targeting. Then you build a relationship. What I was asking, what I was answering earlier to, I think, Rajiv, was you go, that market storming equivalent is online is you go, if there is webinars, you join webinars with them. You ask if there are WhatsApp groups, you join WhatsApp groups of those people. If there are Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, you be part of that. You just try to build a relationship wherever your customers are present. That is an inside sales method of market storming. Field sales method of market storming in SaaS sales is events. There are a lot of events that these people attend offline, whether it's a Gartner event or any other industry event that is there. You go there. I strongly recommend if you are doing enterprise sales, then either you do ABM, okay, not either, you do ABM for sure, and you also attend events where you have face time with the customers. You actually go. That is the equivalent of market storming in this technology and SaaS products. I hope I've been able to cover this part before I go to the next one.
Very, very, very perfect. I mean, so I got my answers in a really satisfactory way. So thanks for that.
Okay, you'll have to just remind me of the second one. What was the second question?
So I was asking, when we talk about references, is there a playbook or kind of framework which can be used for SaaS sales?
Yeah, so see, the equivalent of references are everywhere. There's nothing. As I told you, if somebody refers to you, right? In my subsequent slides, I think we are already out of time, but I'll just tell you something from my subsequent slide. Yeah, this one, right? The SaaS tools. This will also answer your question. See, SaaS sales teams are, they're like Zohos and of the world and all. They've perfected these tools. Okay, so they just don't rely on emailing and calling. Even for emailing, there are tools. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to start using some of these tools in a very structured way. So for reference management, even for kind of reaching out to your references, you might reach out to your references through an email saying, hey, we referred to you, and that we gave you a reference and said that you have a certain need around this. And if it starts a conversation, it's like any other way. There's no separate thing for SaaS sales. Okay, but suppose it's a weak reference. Suppose the person doesn't really engage with you at that time. What do? Now in SaaS sales, there people have actually given a lot of importance to using tools. Why? Because you're dealing with everybody in a remote way, right? I've told you mostly I'm going to talk about remote sales, inside sales, because that is what is relevant for most of you. Some of you may be selling to large enterprises, but these tools, what you see are data enrichment tools, right? If you go to Lucia or ZoomInfo, you can put in my name. You may know VeerChand Bothra of 0101 today. I need to he could be a prospect. He could be a customer for me, but I don't have any contact details. You would use a sales intelligence tool like Sales Insight Sales, like LinkedIn Sales Navigator, very, very popular tool. Okay. And you could connect with me on LinkedIn and all. But if you want to call me, if you want to email me, then what will you do? Then there are tools which enrich that data. Lucia, ZoomInfo, they would give you contact details of their business is that. So there are data enrichment tools. Then there are sales intelligence tools, okay, like sales, LinkedIn Sales Navigator, etc. Then there are sales automation tools, very important category. What it does is you have 100 prospects. Whom would you remember? Then I need to send the case study first. Because as I told you, you have to be useful, right? You have to understand the value of content marketing. Then you have to have follow-ups. That I need to follow up with that guy. So there's a sales cadence. Okay, that once a lead comes in, there's a journey that you build. First send an email, then wait for 2 days, then send another email, then wait for 5 days. If the person doesn't respond, then send that person a case study, okay, PDF. All this you have to automate because there are 100 prospects. If you are good at it, you can do it manually, but you can't. So there are tools, sales automation tools like Outreach, etc., which have been created to help you put together that sales cadence in an automated way. And then there are CRMs which are different, from Salesforces of the world. For inbound marketing, there's an excellent tool which is free to a good extent, which is HubSpot. Then there are pipe drives if you have a large base of customers that you're targeting. So there's this great SaaS sales tool kit that is there, and most of these companies who do SaaS sales use many of these tools. It is very prevalent in the industry. So I think I have answered the reference question, that it's not really references question, that I don't think that's really different here. And there's no something, and I don't think there's anything specific in the SaaS sales method around references. They have to be dealt in any other way. But I would use these tools to kind of reach out to those references. Only thing I would do is if somebody is given a reference of somebody, there is a personal connect, I would reach out to those people on LinkedIn. You know, that is what my business is. Most of my prospects and customers are available on LinkedIn. So in addition to emailing, WhatsApping, I would also reach out to them on LinkedIn, and I'd kind of create this multi connect touch points. I would start interacting with them on their LinkedIn, on their posts, etc. The earlier answer I gave, you should build a relationship, is what my only comment here is. Okay,
Right.
in the interest of time, I will.
Veer, just
Yeah.
Just a minute. So thanks a lot for the detailed answer, and I feel that this is some totally other universe of sales, coming from traditional sales background. Would you have some recommendations for any go-to blogs, any resources for SaaS sales?
Oh yes, I will give that. Okay, I will.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Yeah, very good material, by the way. All these people who have, contributed to the SaaS Sales Book, the Chennai guys, and world over also, they're very kind. They're very, they have this spirit of giving. You'd find excellent content, online around these. No dearth of that. All right. Yeah, I think Lab 55 has a raised hand since some time. Yeah, we'll extend it by, I think, till 1:15. Not
Yes,
a problem.
sir. This is Rajesh from Hyderabad, sir.
Yes, Rajesh.
Sir, I'm working. I had a small doubt. I'm working in healthcare domain, sir. Regarding, we are posting a lot of promotions through email marketing as well as Facebook, Instagram, with all the company details what we are selling. But in return, we are not getting much information through contact form, sir. So where I am lacking, this is what I am interested to know.
Sorry, I'm not completely clear. If you can just help me understand this a little better.
So I'm trying to say we are doing a lot of promotions through email marketing and Facebook and Instagram as well regarding our company, what we are selling, like hospital software, and we are promoting our.
Right.
Yeah. In return, we are not getting the contact forms, sir, from the other end. So that is why I'm asking where I am lagging.
Yeah, content form, I didn't understand this point, Rajesh. What do you mean by in return you're not getting content form? What does that mean?
Through email marketing or Facebook or Instagram, we are promoting our company details, right? In that details, we are providing.
I got that. Form. In return, what are you not getting?
In return,
contact form. You're not getting.
Yeah, we are not getting the proper response from the email marketing and the Instagram or the Facebook. So where I am lacking, this is what I'm asking, sir.
Oh, all right. See, first thing that you need to understand about any marketing, this is nothing to do with SaaS here, is that if you're not having the TG clear, your target market is, that is why I told you, always start with an ICP and personas. Okay. And then you'll realize that where is my, target market spending the time, where my target customer spending time, right? You'd put it all here. That what these are the pain points of my customer. See, this is a very important exercise. Huh? It requires 1, 2, 3 iterations between your core team. Like, look at this. What are the pain points of my customer? So if you're selling hospital management software, do you have these things very clear? Then you would have, as part of that, you also have, where are these people found? You may be putting on Facebook, but they may not be on Facebook. Okay, so where are these people? They might be on certain forums, they might be on LinkedIn, they might be not on LinkedIn. So where are your prospects found? Like, somebody mentioned market storming, right? You first figure out where are your prospects spending time. They would be spending time somewhere, right? On some online forum, some event, somewhere. So you need to be clear about that. Second, you should focus on inbound marketing. So you remember, when we talked about inbound marketing, you produce content. And Rajesh, what I understand is you are saying I'm writing something up, I'm having a blog. My point is, if your ICP is clear, based on the ICP's pain points, etc., you should create content. Okay, those content should be done in such a way through inbound marketing. You should read a book around inbound marketing, around content marketing. Then you'll realize that the keywords that you're using in the content,
are not the ones that your people are searching. So there are two ways. First, go to places, forums where your prospects are spending time. Second, write content in using those keywords which your prospects are searching. So do keyword research. Okay, read about what how SEO works. Read about inbound marketing. But these are all connected. These are not silos. Huh? Please understand all these things very clearly. Based on your ICP, you would figure out what those people are interested in. Based on that, you will figure out what are they searching, where are they spending time, which forums are they doing. Once you have all those clears, don't start immediately by writing something and posting something. And then you will realize, yeah, why are people not responding? Because they are not interested in those topics. They are not really searching for those topics. So that is why you may not be getting a response. I can give you just a generic answer right now. I hope it is useful in some way.
Fine, sir. Fine. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So, yeah, this I don't think we have time for this, but these are different metrics, by the way. These are invented by the SaaS companies. Okay, the globally MRR. Okay, new MRR, expansion MRR. Like MRR is your monthly recurring revenue. Somebody mentioned right in the beginning, right, that one of the defining things is subscription. Subscription is what? It repeats. It every month, every quarter, or every year you would have the revenue. So if your revenue is monthly recurring, that is called monthly recurring revenue. Otherwise, it is ARR. Okay, but monthly recurring revenue, new MRR is how much new subscription revenues did you gain in a month. Expansion MRR is from existing customers, what more revenue were you able to gain? And there are so many of them, like one of the most important thing is ACV, annual contract value. It is like, in a year, my contract with so-and-so customer gives me so much revenue. Okay, you may not have realized that revenue, but it is just saying that this contract means that I will earn $1 million from this customer in this year. Okay, that is ACV. Second thing, very important, is read about CLV. So first, for CLV, you have to define the lifetime of the customer. That on an average, a customer spends 3 years with me. So that's the lifetime. And then in that 3 years, what is the overall lifetime value that you will gain out of that customer? That is customer, because that allows you this. If you see the last but second, CLV CAC ratio, that if you have a high CLV, then you can have a higher CAC. Okay, because you cannot have a CAC is that customer acquisition cost of acquisition. You cannot have a high CAC but very low CLV. You may not. And then there is CAC payback period. That means you acquired a customer for 10,000 rupees. For the first 3 months, you just recover the CAC. And then the 4th month onwards, that you'd start getting surplus revenue, and then over a lifetime I will get so much revenue. That is CLV. So these are very important things, by the way. These are your modern ways of measurement. Please read about all of these things, and try to understand, what these metrics are. Yes, Naveen.
Hi, just a quick question. As we discussed that reaching SaaS sales is basing about reaching through emails, content marketing, and all of these stuff. So I was curious that business writing, as it extends, how should we form our content? How should we, better our business writing skills for that?
No, there are two different questions. How you should. Skills is a very personal thing, that how do you get better at this, right? And the other is how to create more compelling content, more content which your customers are interested in. These are two different questions. Which one are you talking about?
I'm talking about basically, see, when we reach out on LinkedIn, when we draft our emails for that purpose, only on the reaching out purpose, that sort of business writing skills I'm talking about. How to,
see,
refine them.
prospecting is different, by the way. So see, content writing skills are very different, Naveen. Content writing skills means what? You want me to read your content, which will take me 10 minutes of my life. So if you want me to read your content, for which I have to give 10 minutes of my life, that it should be useful for me, right? That is about content, that whatever content you are creating. Okay, you created a video, you created an infographic, you created a blog, whatever it may be. But if you want to spend my life's 10 minutes on that content, it better be useful to me. You can't just sell to me, just keep describing your product features. No, That is the content marketing part. When you are reaching out to customers on LinkedIn, etc., that is more of a prospecting skill. Okay, that's not content skill. That is prospecting. How do I reach out to Veer over LinkedIn? So you would place a LinkedIn request. Many senior people today don't accept LinkedIn request if you don't put a note along with it saying that why would you like to connect. Then a lot of people make this mistake of putting cut and paste. Everybody, I found your profile to be very interesting, and I think we can have some mutual interest, and that's it. You think that people don't realize that this is a cut and paste? They realize that. But if you spend that time, 2 minutes of or looking at my past post, my past experience on LinkedIn, and then you put one customized sentence in that, I will note that you took the trouble and interest to write something which was customized, and then I'll accept. Okay. Similarly, if you message, if you comment on my post, what I was telling the earlier participant also, nobody comes on LinkedIn to be sold to. People come on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram to connect with other human beings. And that connect could be at a superficial level, at a deeper level. So try and gain that in a genuine way. Try to comment, try to like, try to engage. Those people will notice. So it takes time. There is no shortcut, right? So imagine yourself, the way I tell people, by the way, when you think about social media, think about your community gathering. Somebody, you gathered at a place, either in your building society for 15th August or Rakhi function, or some celebration, Ganpati celebration, or you're meeting people in a social gathering at a wedding or some function. Somebody just pulls out his business card and say, hey, I'm this and we sell this. Wouldn't it look odd? That, hey, this is a social setting. Why are you just, selling to me right now? Think about social media also like that. People are there on social media doesn't mean that you just keep, kind of awkwardly selling to them. You just establish a connect, if possible, establish a relationship, and then kind of reach out to them and say that, give it some time. Don't be in, hurry to kind of, because most of those hurried, sales reach outs don't work. You kind of have to kind of, give it some time, and then I think it works. That is my belief.
Got it. Thank you.
So anyone else who would like to ask any question, or shall we conclude this? If you want to raise your hand. I don't think, sir, we have any further questions. So yeah, you can conclude the session, sir.
No, great. I think we had a very good interactive session. I like these kind of sessions where, the speaker also gets feedback, questions. You could be critical of what I'm saying. You don't have to always kind of, accept whatever I have said. So it's good to have these kind of counter questions and interactions. I also kind of enjoyed this session a lot. I hope this has been useful. There is a big contrast between how the SaaS companies have grown, whether it is Indian SaaS companies or other, SaaS companies across the world. They've really evolved this SaaS sales playbook and overall SaaS business methodology. And anybody who's interested in this sales as a career should read more about this. I've used industry terms, so hopefully you can go online and research more about it. So thanks for listening to me patiently.
So before you conclude this for today, there's one question. What is the best recommended email automation tool that you would personally recommend? Would you like to name a few?
See, there are multiple tools, and the answer again is basically, are you a small company, large company, what kind of database you have? So I'll give you a few popular ones which are there. There are Indian tools, okay, which are for little mid to large companies like Netcore, or there are international tools like SendGrid. If you want APIs, okay, if you want to send transactional emails, there is SendGrid. Then if you want to send promotional emails, there is MailChimp. Okay, Indian tools which are automation related is Netcore, which is email, very popular for email. But there are multiple other tools online, Active Contact, etc. You again, based on the kind of need that you have, there are various categories, but just start with the likes of SendGrid, MailChimp, or Netcore. And then if you do online research, you'll find their alternatives. Go to Google and say alternative to SendGrid, alternative to MailChimp, alternative to Netcore. You'll find the rest of them, there.
Sure, sir. I think you have a great slide, so would let you conclude with this.
Thank you once again. Thanks for having me. It was a good fun time that I had today. Thank you so much.
Sure. Yes, sir, you spoke. Okay, we have another question. Shall we take it from Srijoy?
Okay, sure.
1 second, sir. Srijoy, you can unmute yourself. Yeah.
Hi. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So hi. This question might be a little out of the box, but I apparently think maybe you are one of the right persons to help me out with this. Yeah. So I am working as a salesperson, but me and my team has been working on blockchains from the last couple of months, which is more than around 16, 17 months, it's more than a year. And we are almost done with it. And we have written our own language. Yeah. So when compared to BCL, our language is better. So BCL is a Borg configuration language, and it is the third most written language in Google. Yeah. And we have multiple points where our written language is better than the BCL one. So we are almost done with the first deck for the investment meetings and VCs and all. So I would like to understand few things and maybe some advices from your end on how do I, if you can guide me better in how to showcase my product in front of the VCs or maybe the world, the market. So indirectly, it is, of course, one kind of sales.
I think we can take this because it's a very specific question, maybe around VCs. We should take this offline, maybe on LinkedIn. You can connect with me,
Sure, sir.
and we can take it there.
Sure, sir. Definitely. Great. I'll connect.
All right.
Sure. Thank you so much, Srijoy. So to conclude, sir, you spoke about, taking that extra effort while connecting with people on LinkedIn. And we appreciate you taking the effort and mentioning a lot of things today, right from inside sales to marketing, and also the acronyms, right? So we really appreciate that. So once again, sir, thank you so much for accepting our invitation and taking out time for this masterclass.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Have a good day.
Sure.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Looking forward to again connect on next Saturday for the next masterclass. Stay tuned and please do follow us on all the social channels, and we'll keep you updated on all these latest masterclasses. Thank you so much, everyone.